A loud bang startled the sleeping old man awake. Shortly after, a rush of seawater flooded into the cabin. He quickly got up to investigate. To his shock, he discovered a massive hole in the hull of the ship. Without wasting time, he rushed to the deck, but the sight before him left him dumbfounded. A giant shipping container had collided with the hull of his ship. The boat was wedged tightly and unable to move. The old man, however, remained calm. He first lowered the sails to stop the boat. Then, he grabbed a sturdy iron rod, trying to pry the container out of the ship. No matter how hard he tried, it wouldn't budge an inch. Refusing to give up, he retrieved an anchor from the cabin. He tied the anchor to one corner of the container. Then he tossed the anchor into the sea. As the anchor sank slowly, the container was soon pulled away from the ship. But the crisis wasn't over. The massive hole in the hull continued to let seawater flood in. He brought out a wooden crate. Using its contents, he crafted a makeshift adhesive from the materials inside. He evenly spread the adhesive over the hole, but glue alone wasn't enough. He layered fiber materials on the outside of the hull, hoping to create a waterproof seal. Once the adhesive dried, he tilted the ship to test it. As expected, the waterproofing worked perfectly. Next, he manually pumped out the water from the cabin. He then connected a battery to his radio, hoping to send a distress signal. However, the radio had been water damaged and wouldn't work. At that moment, it began to drizzle outside. Initially, he paid no attention to it and returned to the cabin to eat dinner. But just as he finished cleaning up and prepared to rest, the ship suddenly started rocking violently. He rushed to the deck to check. Thick storm clouds loomed overhead. It was clear that a storm was about to hit. Hurriedly, he went back to the cabin, put on his raincoat, and returned to the deck. He tried to manually steer the boat to a safer area, but suddenly, a massive wave hit, knocking him into the sea. Fortunately, he was tied to the boat with a safety rope. After much struggle, he managed to climb back onto the deck. He retreated to the cabin, resigning himself to fate, whatever it may be. Just as he removed his raincoat, the ship started spinning again. A giant wave had capsized the boat. Once the ship righted itself, he went back out to assess the damage, but another huge wave flipped the ship once more. Clinging tightly to the railing, he narrowly avoided being swept away, despite not wearing the safety rope this time. To his despair, the mast, once stood tall, had snapped fallen. He had no choice but to cut the ropes and abandon the broken mast. He then rushed back to the cabin.